Your light meter will probably read both lux and foot candles, and the conversion rate is 10.76 because 1 meter equals 3.28 feet, so 1 square meter equals 10.76 feet squared. And which one is going to be brighter? Well, if we take the same lumen spread over 1 square foot versus that same lumen spread over a larger square footage, 10.76 square feet, the lux surface will be illuminated more dimly than the foot candle. So now that we've looked at lumen output, let's look at efficacy. This lamp has an efficacy of 93. We'll come back to that. Efficacy and efficiency are basically the same sort of thing, but with efficiency you're comparing apples to apples. If you are measuring the same unit out as is coming in, you're measuring efficiency. If you're measuring one thing out versus another thing in, you're measuring efficacy. For instance, miles per gallon. So if we look at a transformer, we have watts delivered, power delivered, 9 kilowatts, and power absorbed by the primary of the transformer, or power in, 10 kilowatts. If we divide the wattage out by the wattage in, we get 9 divided by 10 is 0.9, and we multiply by 100 to get a percentage. And efficacy, on the other hand, we would take the rated lumen output of the lamp, or lamp assembly in this case, and divide it by the units in, which is 26 watts, and we would get 63 lumen per watt efficacy. And these numbers came right off the label. There they are, lumen out, wattage consumed. And let's go back and look at our first DOE label, and I've got 840 lumen for 9 watts, so 840 lumen divided by 9 watts gives me 93 1/3 lumen per watt, and that's what's on the label, 93. So that's how that works. And let's move along to relative measurements. When you're measuring things with a light meter, as an acceptance test technician, you'll be measuring relative illumination, or changes in illumination. In other words, a before and an after. During acceptance testing, no smartphone apps are allowed. You got to get a real light meter. You'll be taking illuminance values, and that's right, that's illuminance because the light will be falling on the light meter pickup. You want to check on a task surface, or failing that with your pickup pointed up, right? What you're measuring is something called horizontal foot candles, and that's because they would be falling on a horizontal surface. Foot candles of illumination that would be bumping against a wall, coming at a wall like this, are known as vertical foot candles because they're falling on a vertical surface. So, hope that makes sense. The non-residential compliance manual says if you're in an empty spot taking your measurements, there's no task surfaces, benches, desks, whatever installed, that 30 inches above the ground on a tripod is recommended, with the pickup pointing up to capture horizontal foot candles. As noted here, your light meter will react differently to natural and artificial lighting. This should not present a significant problem, hopefully. Haven't seen that it does, and even if it does, who would really know? You may need to use your light meter in some odd locations for daylighting testing. So it's easier to secure, the easier it is to secure the pickup in a position remote from the meter, the better. This one plugs in with an RCA jack, so it's a simple matter to make an extender cable.